Whitaker joins us now via Skype. She is a blogger and an author, and we are so happy that she's here with us today. Thanks for being with us, Kathryn.
I am totally thrilled to be here. Thanks, Rachel.
Tell us about your book, Live Big, Love Bigger, Getting Real with Barbecue, Sweet Tea, and a Whole Lot of Jesus. I love the title. Tell us about it.
Thank you. So the book is about living an authentic life. So I call it living a hell yes kind of life. So I talk about some universal themes in there, like authentic friendships and body image and time with your family. But what does that look like when you become intentional? And what does that look like when you focus on Jesus? And so I'm a little sassy. I'm Southern, so it's all in there. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. Having said that, you're not really a sweet tea drinker, are you?
Well, I mean, I love sweet tea for sure. I'm really a Dr. Pepper drinker.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a copyright issue with that, but sweet tea works because it fits with barbecue. I only drink sweet tea with barbecue. So.
I love it. Anybody who follows you on Instagram for even a few minutes is going to find out quick that you love Dr. Pepper, which I'm a huge fan of as well, so yes. I love it. All right, you've written in your blog about phoning it in, parenting and keeping boundaries set firmly with our kids when they push our limits, which is such an important parenting theme. Why is this so important for parents to do?
Well, when we phone it in, our kids are free to do whatever it is that they want. And even though our teenagers will tell us, and the little ones too, like, I want all the freedom, I want to do all the things, really kids thrive in structure. And when parents just give up and they're like, well, that's the way kids are, or that's the way things are going to be, they're free to stray and do whatever it is that they want to do. And so we found that when you're engaged with your kids, when you talk to them, and when you talk to them about the hard things, like when you don't shy away from the hard stuff, I think that's when our relationships, much like the relationship with Jesus, if you just keep it here, it's nice. But when you go deep and you really have a relationship with your kids, it's a really beautiful, sanctifying experience. And I just encourage parents to not be afraid of the hard moments. I mean, get your tribe, get your people to like rally you so that you can do the hard things, but don't walk away from them. Don't be scared of them. And I think that's a key thing that I've had to learn, and I'm still learning with all of our children.
Yeah. It's so important when you hear that from other people too, because I think sometimes it's easy to look at other families and say, they just have it all together. Their kids seem so great. I feel like I have to work so hard with my family. And when you hear, a wise veteran like yourself saying, no, it takes a lot of work to get the results that, we hope God will give us. It's very encouraging. Like, I think it inspires people to keep fighting the good fight.
Well, that's why I'm friends with people like you and Danielle. I mean, I always say it's good to have a skiing buddy that's like, and what I mean by skiing buddy is when we were little, my mom would always tell us to ski with people who were better than us. That's how we got better. So as a mom, you got to have someone who's like 4 or 5 years ahead of you. And you're like, oh, and then like you can sort of see like the tunnel of light of hope. And that kind of gives you what you need to keep doing the things that you have to do every day. So that's worked for us.
That's awesome. It's so encouraging. Your son was born premature, and you write about this on your blog. He had numerous surgeries and hospital stays. Tell us about him and, that part of your journey as a parent.
Sure. So he's really the reason that the book happened. So I started writing while he was in the NICU. It was cathartic for me. But Luke was born what we would consider a late-term preemie, so he was 36 weeks. But he was just a touch over 3 pounds at birth. And Luke was born with all sorts of anomalies, all sorts of defects and everything with all of his major organs, which led to 7 surgeries and 15 specialists and 5 years of all sorts of different therapies. And, I mean, that's when my relationship with Jesus changed. I mean, I had a really polite relationship with him. I was very nice to him. I was a good Southern girl, but Luke arrived and everything changed. And it changed. Some ways were really hard, but it changed looking back. He'll be 10 this fall, so there's some hope there. But looking back, I can see the beauty of that struggle and the beauty of that joy. And I think the book allowed me to kind of share some key moments in his life, but also talk about how they transformed us, me personally and us as a family. He is feisty, that little kid. He's almost 10, and I don't know if he's probably a touch over 40 pounds, so he's itty bitty, but we call him the Hulk. So like you never know what's going to erupt from Luke, but he is such, man, he was a game changer in our family. He is an awesome kid.
And is this one of those, in life, I feel like with parenting, there's so many fears that we have as parents. We're afraid that this will happen or that will happen. And certainly, having a child born that needs lots of help. What are some misconceptions about that you wish people knew about, what it means to a family to go through something that seems pretty scary?
Well, it was certainly horrible. It was my worst nightmare. But what I was surprised by, Rachel, was the amount of people that swooped in and just appeared and helped. And it was totally God's grace. So when you go through hard things, you do not go through them alone. We like to think that we can handle things by ourselves, or that if we go through this really hard thing, it's really only us going through it. But God continues to send you people, experiences, opportunities for you to grab a life preserver. And it's up to us to recognize that. And I think initially I was like, no, I got this. I'm type A. I do all the things. Thanks for your help. And then finally God broke me down. And I was like, okay, so this is what it's like to be humble and accept help. But I grew in great grace and faith because of that experience. So whatever someone's going through, however hard it may be, recognize that only you get to choose if you carry it alone or if you carry it with somebody else. And I would hope that you would choose to carry it with other people.
I love that. And God, he really does have a way of finding us and giving us what we need. And usually it's not the thing we think we need, but it just helps us grow in humility and vulnerability and in holiness. Tell people where they can find more about you and your upcoming book.
Sure. So they can go to teamwhitaker.org, or you can find me online, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, all the places, kwhitaker96. And I'm almost always there when I'm not feeding my people here. So
awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.